That image of him trying to learn to drive a stick shift brought back some powerful memories of me learning how to drive a stick. Don't do that anymore. Don't do that anymore. So I'm delighted to welcome Stefanie Adams. She is a facilitator, keynote speaker, adjunct instructor at universities, former elected official. She's an entrepreneur, wife, and mother. And for those who know her best, she is cheerleader Steph, which personifies her personality and her leadership style. She has over 20 years of experience leading and training in corporate and nonprofit settings. Stefanie's days are fueled by coffee, chocolate, relationship building, and her passions. Her passions are developing others, serving her community, and Philadelphia sports, but she promises not to throw anything at you. She also loves travel and is seriously slaying those kitchen dance moves. In 2024, she is incredibly excited to add author to her repertoire as her first book of the same name, Cheer Leadership, is set to be published. She brings the energy into this room. Please help me welcome her with some loving energy, Stefanie Adams. Come on up, Stefanie.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, AENC. Thank you so much for having me here today. Okay, raise your hand, please, if you are a leader or have ever been a people leader. Okay, very nice. So all of you that raised your hands, I want you to think back to the first day you walked in the office after that title of manager had been placed on your business card. How'd you feel? You excited, joyful, ready to tackle those challenges? Or did it feel more like this? Free fall, scary, chaotic, because I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. I'm now responsible for people. If it was the latter, I promise you, you are not alone. Organizations have a habit of promoting people into roles because they were great at a job, right? Well, if you're great at the job, of course, you are going to be great leading people. That is a dangerous, dangerous assumption. In my 20 years of leadership and training experience, I have seen so many people be promoted into positions and they just simply were not prepared to take on that role. So let me go back here to the picture here for a moment. Any former cheerleaders here in the room? Okay, hey cheerleaders, then you know that what this is a basket toss. You will notice that this young lady is 15 feet in the air executing an extremely difficult stunt. It's called a back tuck. And you'll notice that there are 4 people underneath her that we are hoping are going to catch her. And don't worry, they did. But do you think they did this the first time they got together and met? Absolutely not. This takes trust. It takes practice. It takes specific skill sets to learn how to accomplish a wow moment like this in a game. But how often do we do this with our new leaders? We put them into positions to lead a team without the skills that are necessary. Kind of like a basket toss with nobody to catch you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about cheerleadership today, but before I do, I need to give you some background of how we got here. So I have been in the leadership training space for 20 years, and I guess you would say I'm kind of obsessed with developing others. I love to dive into deep dialogue, help people see the strengths that maybe they're missing. But I guess a lot of people have called me their work cheerleader, and I totally am, because it's very much ingrained in me. This was my first cheerleading squad. My first team I made in 6th grade, and please don't get too close to a flame with that polyester uniform. Whew, you would have gone up real fast. This was the start of a 26-year career in cheerleading. 26 years, that's crazy. I cheered in middle school, high school, college. I got a few years of pro under my belt too. Now, when my body became too old to flip, throw people, do all that stuff, I discovered that I had a love of coaching. And I got to do that at the high school and college level as well. So people would say I'm absolutely obsessed with helping others be their best and winning. So what I started to do was translate what I had learned in those many years of cheerleading, and I brought it into my professional career in education and HR. And I started to realize that there were strategies I was utilizing that were building teams and helping my people succeed, both as a leader and as a direct contributor. So that's where cheerleadership came from. So what is it? It's employing cheerleading strategies to improve organizational culture and business impact, growing reflective, empathetic, and effective leaders that create, build, support, and guide collaborative teams. So you might be asking the question, why empathetic, why reflective, why effective? And here's why. It has felt pretty dark since COVID shut us all down in 2020, and the impact of work is still very much being felt. In 2022, 22 million people left their jobs, and I expect that we're gonna have a similar look in 2023. How we work is changing. In 2024, Gen Z, the population under the age of 27, is getting ready to overtake baby boomers in the workforce. Millennials, Gen X, they are completely reevaluating their priorities at work. So getting the right people and retaining them in work, it's getting harder. And why is that? Because we want better environments, we want better experiences, we expect more from our leaders, and leadership has got to change. Top down, command and control, this is how we've done it, leadership is over. You will not retain the people that you need on your team with that type of leadership. So, I want you to think back to that initial raising of your hand of your first day of leadership and how you felt. And wouldn't it have been nice if you had had a playbook that could have given you the steps to become a first-time leader, to become the cheerleader your folks needed? So how do we do it? How do we lead for the workforce of tomorrow? Here's your concepts. I challenge you to connect with your team. I challenge you to care for your team. I challenge you to challenge your team to be their best selves. I challenge you to celebrate your team. And I challenge you to inspire your team. Now, we have a very limited time frame today, so I'm going to introduce two of these concepts for you. Connect. Connections are the basis of everything. We are built to have relationships with others. Take the time to get to know your people and encourage them to do the same. Try a connection convo. It's a very simple strategy. At your next team meeting, sit everyone down, partner them up, preferably with people they don't get to work with all the time, and ask them a question to discuss. For instance, what was your first job? What did you learn from it that you still utilize today? You're going to drive great conversation. Connections cause understanding, which brings about trust. High priority, high functioning, successful teams have trust. Help your people connect. The last, and what most people will say is the most important concept of cheerleadership, is inspire. I encourage you to do we days. We all have individual strengths. However, what we do as a group is what is going to drive business impact. Remind your teams about that. Have a we day. Everybody come in, wear the certain clothes. We're going to come up with our team hype song. We're going to come up with a hashtag. We're going to work on our goals. It is about we, because we only succeed together. So connect and inspire are two of the themes of cheerleadership, but there are more that I would love to tell you about. So let me just ask you, who in here wants to become a cheerleader? I would like you to look under your seats. There is a pom-pom. I would like you to grab that pom-pom and bring it up here. And I'm going to lead you in a quick before 9 a.m. cheer. We're going to say, let's get fired up. Let's get fired up. Last time, let's get fired up. Awesome. All right, I hope you feel the energy pumping. Thank you so much for your energy and engagement this morning. I appreciate the time. If you'd like to learn more about cheerleadership, I will be set up in the trade show today. Please come have a conversation with us. And as we mentioned in the intro, I'm very excited. Cheerleadership will be available on the bookshelf in mid-2024. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.